For me, it started at Shepherd of the Sea Lutheran Church in Garden City, where I met Howard Edward Merkel, who was born March 21st, 1954, and who died April 5th, 2016, at Shepherd of the Sea during one of the Share the Peace sessions that we have as a part of the worship service at 8:30. At first, Howard was a bit, you might say, shy, and took a while to get acquainted with him, so I would pretend to bump into him and then shake his hand, and soon we became friends. Along with him was his mother, Clara Mae Merkel, who was born May 8th, 1922, and died April 6th, 2016, a day after Howard passed away. Anyway, this relationship continued every year at the beach near the Conch Cafe, where Shepherd of the Sea had its early morning Easter sunrise service, and I took pictures, and it continued clear up until this last week, where both had gone to the Lord at 2607 Yupon Drive, apartment or unit 8, small townhouse. As we approached Conch Cafe, there were a number of buildings with elevators along the way, along the ocean, from the Garden City Pier clear to the Conch Cafe. So Howard and I and his friend and my new friend Howard Gibbs from Canada would drive up here the Saturday before or Friday before the Easter celebration, and we would put notices on the elevator, the main elevator doors, or at the check-in registration desk at each of the places. So that was our contribution to the Easter celebration. We had a good time driving around to these various places. Very nice. Howard and Clara Mae lived at this small, I call it townhouse development. They lived down here. Here is Howard's truck parked right in front of their unit, which is on the end. So continuing on, you just go down 27th Avenue and you're at the ocean. Many times they'd walk down there, Howard and his mother, and then later on he'd push her in a wheelchair down to the ocean. But they love to exercise, they love to walk, they love nature. They enjoyed water aerobics in the pool that was at their small development. But this is where they'd end up when they would walk. There's their beach entrance. So it wasn't too far from their house. And they lived there many years. Clara Mae did. And then Howard had lived in Pittsburgh area, and his brother David, who came down a week and a half ago to assist, they lived in Pittsburgh. And meanwhile, Mom lived here, and this was just their life. Now, after church, Clara Mae wanted to visit people in nursing homes, so Howard would drive her around and to National Health Care, which we call NHC, and others in the area. She liked to call on people. She also was one of the original Meals on Wheels volunteers. Both Howard Merkel and his friend Howard Gibbs of Canada, who was featured in the series The Lost Highway, which is a highway going up to Ottawa, Canada, from the roughly from the direction of Toronto to the south of Ottawa. Anyway, they would love to come down along the highway on the bike the neck walkway that was put in from Murrells Inlet through Huntington Beach State Park and ended up down in Litchfield. One day they came to our house in Murrells Inlet and with their van loaded with bikes, and we jumped on and went down, and it was a lot of fun. I'll always remember that time. Our friend, the Canadian friend, was as talkative as Howard and I were not as talkative. He talked the whole way down and told us many, many stories. He used to be a magistrate up in Canada and had all kinds of adventures. He loved to pick wild berries, blueberries, huckleberries, whatever he could, and then he would sell them at a fairly high price because they're hard to come by up in Canada. But they've carried on a friendship for a long time. Some of the bike trips would, of course, naturally would go to the ocean because their house was so close to the ocean, but they would also go down to Market Common, to various events down there, and it was truly rewarding.